yeah. Well, the insane people, I don't mind. It's all the workers. Like, wait a minute, this guy's
But
fucking
the thing is, if you watch
crazy.
it closely, though, some of them are kind of a little like.
They are, and you're
disgruntled,
right.
they're having to buy
But at the
into
same
this,
time,
and-
they you're like, why is this guy not agreeing with the cop? But again, it's too far back, pulled back. They do the same thing in this Dreamhouse movie. Okay, so the premise of it is, I don't know if you guys seen the trailer. It's like the guy's like, oh, this is my dream house, honey, and then the little girl's like, Daddy, there's somebody outside, and then they show fucking like it looks like the house is possessed, or the people who lived here before died. They were all murdered by the husband, right? And you literally think. You think that, you know what, the guy just living in here, whatever, right? So it turns out that Daniel Craig was
That dude.
the dude, right? And
Murdered
it's-
everybody?
yeah, and when he's in the
All
house,
out.
he just sees it. It's like he's delusional, right? So again, as the movie's shot, you cannot tell that he's in his own world, which is fine.
Kind of like
there's
Book of Eli, where you didn't know he was blind.
no Book
Spoiler
of Eli
alert.
did.
Damn it.
Book of Eli, you totally knew this one.
Book of
Did
Eli,
you know he was
could have
blind?
told. No, you could
could
have.
tell.
You could have told, and it wasn't. But it wasn't like a different world. Like literally, it'd be like walking in here, and we see all this stuff, and then when he realizes it's a decrepit house. There's places been on fire. But anyways, like the worst part of it was, he goes into town, and he goes into a diner, and he's talking to two cops. So let's say you two are the cops. You're facing the diner wall,
Yeah.
right? And there's a mirror. So he's behind you, and he's like, I need to know about what happened in the house I moved into, because apparently people died and you never caught the killer. And the cops are like, whatever, buddy. You know what? The case is closed. We can't discuss a case, blah, 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 right? Meanwhile, the cops are seeing him as his normal psycho self that we, the reader or the viewer, aren't seeing. Why the fuck were the cops playing along?
Was he wearing a straitjacket or something? Like,
No.
How did they know?
Because he's been released. So he goes then to the halfway house and he's like, I heard that such and such is here and he's been released. Does the bitch at the halfway house say, what are you doing back here, crazy man?
Yeah.
So then he goes to the penitentiary and he's talking to the doctor. He's like, you need to tell me about, this guy. And then he shows him all these pictures, and then he shows him the last picture and it's him. And he's like, but that's clearly not me. And then the screen drops. So he was wearing a shirt and a tie, had nice hair.
Yeah.
Then it drops and he's in dirty clothes. And
all
his
like
hair
devil.
slicked
really?
back, and you're like, no, that's you. And he's like, we released you because we didn't have enough evidence to hold you,
Yeah.
right? And he's been in jail for 5 years or been in psychotic. And I'm like, okay, the guy walks around thinking his name is not his name. Nobody gets released if you do not think you're who you are. They don't let your ass out. And his name was his number. His name was Will Atenton.
Yeah.
It was W1LLA1010.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what kind of name is that when I first heard it?
Yeah.
Right? So then he goes back to his house, which is all boarded up, and he gets in, although the cops come in and say it's boarded up. And then what happened? Turned out some random fucker broke into his house, shot his wife and his kids while he was outside. He comes in, fights with the dude, right?
Yeah.
Dude gets away. His wife picks up the gun, shoots. Of course, he's struggling.
Yeah.
He gets shot, so they think shot his wife.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Now the police didn't look at his knuckles from punching a guy. No, they didn't believe
All
that he
fugitive
did.
action there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was all
One
fugitive.
arm.
And you know what had happened? It was that the neighbor had hired this guy to kill his wife, and the guy went into the wrong house. That was the premise of the movie. So at the end of the movie, you get this guy, and he's like, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then the guy writes a book called Dream House. Yeah, we didn't even know he's a fucking writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Actually, we at the beginning of the movie, he said he was a writer and he was quitting the firm
Yeah.
or whatever. But when we flashed to real life, all the people that said goodbye as he quit were the fucking people from the psycho ward. They were all the people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck do I know he's a writer? Because clearly those guys are all psychos.
Yeah.
Like literally, you see I'm like, who the fuck wrote this shit? Like you give me that script, and I'm like, I know I need to get paid, but I see 12 things wrong with this.
Honestly, I think the best movie,
You know?
one of the best movies that was kind of dealt with some sort of psychosis like that was The Machinist, the old Christian Bale.
Or did you see Identity? Identity was genius.
Oh, the audience at home is enjoying Andre. It's so good.
Well, the reason I laugh at
For
it-
those at home, that has been another wonderful rendition of movies that are terrible by Andre.
Flash, are we recording yet?
Wait, we're recording?
That was 5 minutes of Andre just ranting. It was amazing.
Spoiler alert for whatever that movie was called.
I have
Nobody go see that movie.
Whatever shitty movie that was, don't worry about it.
Dreamhouse
You're covered.
starring Daniel
I
Craig.
didn't have to say anything. All we can say is Dreamhouse was a wonderful movie where two wonderful, beautiful people met and they got married. They both divorced their significant others and they married each other. That's it. Rachel Weisz, Daniel Craig, married, and
Are
that
they
film
married
was,
now?
Yeah.
And that film was filmed in Toronto. Because when I was in Toronto, when I was downtown at Union, Daniel Craig was running through Union Station, and I was like, "What they filming? Oh, Dreamhouse."
See, that's kind of trouble because I remember, like, for a while, like, was it Rachel Weisz was like dating Darren Aronofsky, and it's
They
like,
were married, I
They
think.
were married.
No, they weren't. They never got married, but then they had a kid together. And it's like, man, she ditched. She's that awesome genius for Daniel Craig.
He's
Not cool.
007.
Yeah, you know
Well, she
what?
does
She's
that
done
stuff.
some pretty good movies, but like that one,
Shape of Things.
just like she's gone. She's off my radar now. I can't do it.
You watched The Fountain. She
The
wasn't.
Fountain was a brilliant.
Yes.
The Fountain was an awesome. Like
That's what she was with.
There's a
Darren
movie based on a graphic novel that everybody should read. Like that graphic novel,
Yeah.
beautiful movie, just as good as the book.
All right.
So
well,
I do like some things.
Yeah.
Not many, apparently. All
Hey,
right,
hey,
everyone. Welcome back to
Hey.
our podcast in the Heroes World Studios. I'm here today with Justin, Neil, John, and, as you heard for the first 5 minutes, Andre, as he discussed the merits.
A very big Dreamhouse fan.
Yeah, true.
Please buy that for me on Blu-ray.
I'm sure the writer's going to hunt you down, show up at your store and be like, "Are you the Andre that ranted about my writing script of Dreamhouse?"
I would love to find him myself actually and have this discussion. Maybe I can edit his stuff for
Well, at
him.
the same
Point out
time,
the
though,
flaws.
Again, what happened a lot of times too is like, well, he may have written a script that was like way different, and they're just like, we're just gonna change a bunch of stuff on set and not. And it's like, this will work better. Trust us.
Rewrite.
Yeah, it happens like all the time.
Yep.
Kirby Fully Loaded.
But then, don't they have people who watch movies before they're released? And do those guys have IQs? Because like this
No.
movie, no, come on, they what
Listen.
do they call it when you go in
Focus groups.
Yeah.
Focus groups, yeah.
They're
Like,
the worst. People are.
Yeah,
people
but they're
people
middle,
are terrible.
middle
Yeah, they're
people
pulling
from
people off the
Idaho who are
street,
like,
yeah.
I
Hey,
think
don't
this
diss
is okay.
people from Idaho.
These people from Idaho.
Listen, you understand the thing.
I'm
Like,
just saying
okay,
they're not street cred. Like if you showed them, for example, he got game, they're not going to get the.
Listen,
You know, they're not going to understand a Spike Lee joint.
listen, you understand the thing.
I'm
Like,
just
okay,
saying. They ain't
Like-
got to know. They don't. If I asked who not to mess with, and I say Wu Tang, they'd be like, who?
Yeah.
Wu Tang?
Wu
They would
Tang.
not do the right thing.
Wu Tang?
No,
and
but
you
he-
know who not to, who not to mess with.
No, but that's the thing though, because even look at like, okay, like Sam Raimi's making Spider-Man 3. He's like, I want to use Sandman, and all the Sandman stuff is really well done. All the Venom stuff that they made him kind of add in is super shitty, and that's because the fans wanted Venom, and the studio's like, you have to put Venom in this movie. So really, like, you know, don't trust fans for
Tacked
anything.
on.
I didn't say fans though. Like I get your point.
Fans-
That's
no.
really good. But
People
all
in
I'm
general,
saying is-
they're just
is, okay. I need to get on a focus group or whatever. Guys, listen. Invite me to your movies, and I will tell you what's wrong with them before you go to finish these movies because I'm just tired of just movies that don't make any.
Yeah, and
damn
we've heard the
sense.
story about the Kevin Smith robotic spider, right?
Yeah.
For
No,
for
exactly.
Superman, and then they end up putting it in Wild Wild West. It's sometimes these executives are a little stubborn and
hands-on.
they're exactly a little too hands on.
So, whoa. Anyways,
Where did that buzz come from?
yeah, big buzz. Yeah. Ha! All right. Hey, audio fiction. All right. So the last podcast we talked a little bit about movies. We talked about movies we're looking forward to. So I'm gonna start off with Justin right over here. Movies in the summertime. There are a bunch of blockbusters coming out. Avengers, something called Spider-Man. Another what's the
Spider-Man
movie?
8?
Dark
Spider-Man
Knight
8?
Returns. Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Some movie
Adam
with
West,
Christian
that
Bale. I guess it's the Liam Neeson vehicle. I don't know. Anyways, on the scale of those comic and John Carter from the previous podcast, what are you guys looking forward to seeing? What is something that you think that's going to be very successful? And what are the podcast like? What are you looking forward to see?
For me, I'm mostly looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man because again, for some reason, like Spider-Man like movies have always have a big place in my heart. I always always love a Spider-Man movie.
everything. You love the animated MTV animated series.
It was so good.
Because Justin doesn't
Animated
remember
series,
Spider-Man's origin,
all the
so
video
he likes to
games.
see it over,
Relive.
have it
over,
recap.
Hey,
and
hey,
over
it's
again.
with the character, some guy named Martin Sheen that you're so, love with. So,
Yeah, Martin Sheen's in it. Yeah, it is Martin Sheen.
Who's he playing in it?
He plays Uncle Ben.
Oh snap!
Oh, so he's gonna last all of 5 minutes.
oh, spoiler alert!
Flashback.
No, but again, they're taking more of the ultimate Spider-Man route. So I'm kind of like more interested
Oh,
in
more
that.
like a Bendis thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what? That's cool. So I'll check it out. Listen, it looks nice.
So it'll be 5 months late.
That's 11 months. Damn it. No, but yeah. So like Spider-Man, looking forward to.
And you're okay with the fact that they rebooted it with Gwen Stacy and
You know what? Like, listen, like it was gonna happen at some point, and after Spider-Man 3, it was pretty disillusioning. So it's good that they're kind of like say, hey, we're taking a fresh start on this and kind of move forward.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. This movie, Peter Parker Spider-Man, is probably the coolest superhero around
Ever.
ever. Okay, he's got the strongest story. He's paid the price for his inaction. It didn't save Uncle Ben. You know, the whole with great power comes great responsibility. Now, if these execs and these writers had the balls to tell the death of Gwen Stacy story, which probably only comic fans know, could you just imagine being in a theater, goblin fight going on, Stacy gets thrown off the
that's
bridge.
the second one. That's the
Yeah.
second one.
Hold on, let me finish. She gets thrown off the bridge. He goes to save her, snaps her neck, with the whiplash. Movie ends with him trying to hold her, and then the cops come, and then he's got to run. Everybody in the world would be like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that happened to Peter Parker."
That's
Oh
Empire
my
Strikes
God!
Back.
And when does the next
That's-
movie come out?
That is
Yeah.
that is the
Full on
defining
Empire.
moment of Peter Parker Spider-Man, killing the one person that loves him, and he tried his best. He was just at that point the inexperienced superhero. That is the story to tell. You guys who are making movies, tell that story. Get your audience, grab them by the throat, pull them in, and make them see how cool Spider-Man is. Don't give me Mary Jane with Kirsten Dunst and her big head. Don't give me Gwen Stacy 3 movies in and you're missing the whole beat.
Again, this new movie, you're
do
saying all the
that
things
story.
to support my cause here because
No, I'm telling you, it could be
this new movie is again, it's Gwen Stacy and Peter, for them together, and then I don't know, by the second one, she could die by the second
she
one.
could, but if you're telling me it's Ultimate, unfortunately, Ultimate Gwen Stacy came in so far after. I want original Stan Lee and Ditko Spider-Man on the screen, like that story. Like, sure, modernize it. You can put your emo hairstyle kid on there, whatever. But you tell that story, people need to see it because nobody's seen it. They've never done it in the cartoon. They've only had the balls to do it in the comic book, and that was in the 1960,
Probably
69?
early,
right?
late 60s, early 70s.
Late 60s. Yeah, you do that story. Like I tell you, that puts Spider-Man, bam, just on the block. People be like, well, I didn't know. I need more of this. Now that I know what Spider-Man's about, boom. That's what I'm going
Yeah.
with.
So, just a quick question. Are we all Mary Jane Watson fans, or are we Gwen Stacy fans? If you had a choice, does it really matter which one Peter Parker is with at the end of the day? Do you have a preference? Anyone on the floor?
I'm personally a fan of single down on his luck Spider-Man, where he's just like, okay, I gotta go on this date, but there's a guy over there wearing leopard print throwing a car, but she's really hot.
With great power. You know what? I think it's part of the story. In a perfect world, he would have saved Gwen, live happily ever after. But who knows? Maybe if she didn't. Maybe if she had lived, she would have just said, "I'm tired of Peter Parker and Flash Thompson. Here we go." But it's part of his history. He has to have had been with Gwen and then moved on to Mary Jane, and then can move on to what's his new girlfriend, Charlie, or is her name Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the new Amazing Spider-Man, and they're So yeah, Down on Luck Peter is probably cool, but you can't not have had the experience of relationship. And what about Black Cat? I'm a Felicia Hardy fan.
Well, that's the thing, because again, Spider-Man not like Batman, where Batman's just like, sorry, baby, I'm married to the job, and he'll never really get anywhere with chicks because he just doesn't care about that. Spider-Man, he's got that average day-to-day life, and he just does something great when no one's watching, and that's kind of the whole thing that makes Spider-Man so
And
good.
he's a bit of a horny teenager.
Yeah.
He's a grown man
He's
now, isn't
real.
he?
Yeah, he's a grown
He's a
man.
grown-ass man who was a teacher, so I don't know that.
According to continuity.
Yeah, no, but still, like
Is that what he is in the movie? He's a man.
no, like, he's teenage Peter Parker in the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still say down though. It's like, this movie has web shooters. I'm really down with that. Really a big fan. It has Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy. I'm like,
Oh, snap, Dennis Leary.
that's right.
You're just funny.
Wow, John's eyes lit up. And Captain Stacy, he's a cop. John's in.
I was like, oh, is
Can we
that
have a cop show about Captain Stacy?
Rescue Me?
Yes, we
Spider-Man's
can.
in the background.
And I'm telling you right now, like, listen, any movie you'd watch, like, Andre, if you're watching Dreamhouse and all of a sudden Spider-Man just swung by, you may not have mind Dreamhouse that much. It may have been that much better. It's like, hey, is that Spider-Man who just swung by? That's
Oh,
so
I
cool.
wish.
Yeah. It's like
Oh,
that
I
episode
wish.
of X-Men on the cartoon show when there's chaos happening in New York. All of a sudden, you see Spider-Man's hand come out, but not him, just his hand.
That was the
spurt a
craziest
web,
thing I
stop
ever
a
saw.
car, and then fly it off, and you're like, oh, that's
Awesome.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool that you see Spider-Man's hand. Although, the
So
rest of
Disney,
Spider-Man's
any
not
Marvel,
there.
any movie you make, whether it be a romantic comedy or not, just
Stick
have Spider-Man swing
swinging.
by. Just swing by.
That you know,
Viral marketing for the
I'm-
the new movie.
I'm
They
just
could
saying,
totally
Disney
do
owns
that.
it. They could have Spider-Man fly anywhere he wants.
Mhm.
You know, you can do anything. Fly through one of those romantic comedies.
And
be
Disney
like,
owns-
there's just a Silver Surfer flying in the background. Don't worry about it. It happens all
Yeah,
the time.
Disney owns Miramax. They can do whatever they want. It'd be great. Just do whatever they want.
All right, Neil.
Well, I hate to jump on the bandwagon, but Dark Knight Rises is probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most for obvious reasons. I guess I don't really have to get into detail as to why, but that's probably number one. Another movie that I've slowly kind of the build up for it is starting to intrigue me is the new Prometheus, the Aliens
Yeah.
prequel. Originally I was really skeptical hearing about it, but just based on who's involved, I'm a big Michael Fassbender fan, and I think I have just a good feeling this is going to be, regardless if it ties in strongly or loosely to the whole Aliens quadrilogy, I think it's just going to be a really cool sci-fi movie, and that's one that I've got circled as I've got
Are
to
you-
see this one in the theater.
Do you care that it's in the same universe at this standpoint?
I do care. I think that's it's an important part of it, but I don't think it has to necessarily, it doesn't have to have those like references to that. I'm like, oh, right, very smart, very, if it doesn't have anything really to do with aliens until maybe like the last 10 minutes, fine. But I just, from the look of it, the people in it, everything I've heard about it so far, the fact that they're keeping it really secret, I just got really good vibes about
And
this
Idris
movie.
Alba's in it and whatnot.
Yep.
Actually, that's a
very,
really good
very
point. 'Cause
cool
I've
actor.
noticed that, like, most movies you can't keep a secret with most movies anymore, but for this, for some reason, it's just like,
Well, both movies that Neil's mentioned, Dark Knight and the fact that people are still saying, I alluded it before, that Liam Neeson's going to be it. There's no real like proof that he's in or not in the movie. No one seems to know anything, and
That's
everyone
true.
seems to be conjectured as to what Caddy or what's her face, Miriam,
Anne Hathaway.
not Anne Hathaway, the other girl,
the girl from,
Inception.
Oh, the French chick.
Yeah, Marion Cotillard, whatever.
Coulthard, whatever.
Yeah, the fact that she's
she's in it, but no one knows
Natalia,
who she is.
George Gordon Levitt's in it, but we don't know who he's playing or what his
both
role is going to
movies
be.
you selected are completely in secrecy,
And
no
that's
one seems
that's
to know
how they
anything.
should
That's
be.
how they should be,
Like
though.
honestly, I think a lot of times trailers, like and all these spoiler sites and
Shots from the set.
shots from the set. We see the Avengers, with like I don't want to see these guys just in a rubber costume without the special effects. It looks silly. Like
But-
I'm on a
It
I'm on a
looks kinda
media
cool seeing
blackout.
Avengers.
I haven't seen the trailers for Dark Knight. I haven't looked at any of the Super Bowl things. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what? For once, I want to go in and I want to see this movie, and for good or bad, I want to enjoy.
And it hasn't been too hard to avoid that stuff. I mean, there's been some of it,
Oh, it's been-
but it hasn't been too difficult to just say, I'm just not going to look at that trailer, or
No,
I'm just
yeah,
not going
that's-
to hit
that's
that
true.
link.
But
where
when-
some stuff, it's literally in your face everywhere. You can't get away from it.
But after the Super Bowl and every Wednesday at the shop, people
Yeah.
are always like, "Oh, did you guys see the new trailer? Oh, go to this YouTube, you can see it." I said, "No, man, I'm on immediate blackout." They're like, "How can you do that?" And then like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But did you see? And I'm like, "No, I'm not watching anything.
Actually,
You can't convince me to look at anything because like
it's
I
feeding the
wanna
hype,
be-
though.
yeah.
If people
That's
are
the nice
interested,
thing.
you do have to feed the hype a little bit, but it's
Oh,
sometimes
definitely.
it's the overkill.
Yeah.
Like having 6 different trailers is
The
not
thing that was
necessary.
kind of cool to me
One
was
trailer
when, like,
is
you
good.
saw like people's iPhone iPhone pictures of like the Avengers kind of running through New York. It's kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like they're real. That's kind of fun. That's kind of awesome.
But the one thing
that's so
that's
sweet.
nice about the Avengers too is that since all the aliens are CGI, you could just see them just fighting air.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what type of aliens. Everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Skrulls. It's be like, you know what?
It could be the Barba Papas for all we
Yeah,
know.
it could be an army of
That
the
would be
Mamas
pretty
and the
cool,
Papas.
actually.
Like, you know, like, it could be anything. It could,
Mamas and the Papas.
you know, it just, you know, it could be all just like Ulks. Like, you know, like who knows what's gonna be?
Ulick.
So, you know, yeah. But no, those are movies I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to as watching as well. John,
The new Batman movie. Looking forward to that. I'm hoping with Neil that it's going to be good. A lot of people are thinking, it could flop, but what if it is as good as Dark Knight? What if it's better? What if it caps everything off? So looking forward to that. And then the other movie, which I know everybody here is looking forward to, we're going to have to call Chris Ho. We're all going to have to go to the theater together to see. And this is going to be the most epic thing ever. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 21 Jump Street. No, I'm talking about G.I. motherfucking Joe, since we've already sworn so much in this podcast. Starring The Rock. Well, we should go see 21
Heck
Jump
yeah.
Street. But yeah, G.I. Joe, The Rock, like the first movie, it had issues. I'd say it was still fun.
It was,
But the fact that
it
they've
was
taken
Star Wars.
They've tapped
just,
The Rock.
Don't even say
They just
that.
ripped off the plot of Star
And The
Wars.
Rock is
These
signed
are-
on.
Those suits
and-
were lame.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, I'd say The Rock has the Midas touch. Anything I've seen with The Rock has been pretty much
It's Rock and
hilarious.
Bruce Willis.
That definitely
Bruce
makes you go.
friggin' Willis.
Okay.
The
I
chick
am-
from District B13 Ultimatum, which was a horrible, horrible movie, but she was cool in it.
What
what
movie?
movie?
You mean?
What
The girl from
movie
Friday
was
Night
that?
Lights?
No, the Jinx. She's playing Jinx in the new G.I. Joe movie. It's District B13 Ultimatum, which was the parkour.
Oh man,
thing.
that was terrible.
Yeah, and she was. I think she was the female villain or something.
Uh-huh.
She looked cool, but she's gonna play Jinx. That movie was super terrible, by the way.
Lady Jane's all that matters.
Lady J.
Scarlet,
Really?
come on.
She's not in it.
Redhead.
I-
She's
I-
gone.
I think
Who played
the-
Scarlet in the first one?
I
I want to say Femke Jensen.
Rachel
no,
Nichols.
she didn't. It was
Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, Rachel
Really?
Nichols.
Yeah, Rachel
Yeah.
Nichols. She was on Alias.
How about Sienna Miller? Has Sienna Miller been attached to this movie?
She was.
I think
No.
she died.
She-
I have
no,
idea.
she's not. The thing with the retaliation is that everyone is gone. All they're bringing is Roadblock, which is The Rock.
Oh no, Ripcord is dead.
Hey, man!
Ripcord was the Han
there'll be
Solo
another
of that
12
movie.
Waynes that'll step up and take
That's
his
true.
place.
They got
Yeah.
plenty of those dudes.
Yeah.
Get them on tap.
There's more Wayans
Fire 'em
than
out.
we have digits.
So this is my question. I know you're looking forward to it. Now, have you seen any footage of it?
I have seen. I
Some.
think the first trailer with the reveal of Bruce Willis in the back of an El Camino or something
Have you
like
seen
that.
the pictures of Cobra Commander?
I have not.
They've gone back to the old school. Are you comfortable with that? Are you
With the
cool-
helmet?
Yeah,
with
he's
the
wearing a helmet.
Yes,
Metal
I think
helmet.
it's smart. I think if they did that, then they were paying attention to the feedback from the first movie
Absolutely.
and thought what they did in the first movie with Cobra Commander was stupid as hell.
I don't even remember it. I blocked it out.
And,
Joseph
and
Gordon-Levitt,
maybe
the Cobra
let's
Commander?
hope that maybe they do some alteration to the Destro as well.
I don't think he's in it.
Gotta have
Yeah.
Bazooka
Oh,
wearing
maybe
that
he's not.
number
Alright.
16 jersey.
Yes, yes. And the fridge.
I want Snow Job. I want more Snow Job. That's what I'm saying.
Get out of here! That guy's useless.
Hey, we just talked about Captain
wait.
Cold. This guy's a G.I. Joe that can deal in Arctic weather.
so
What's
John-
this guy in the skis going to do? Where's G.I. Joe going to take place?
can
in
be
New
their
York City,
Arctic
right?
correspondent.
Or
Yeah.
Washington? What's this
man.
guy on skis
when
going to do?
they're battling in the
Minus
Alps,
30 and sunny.
there's only one guy that can do it.
He's going to get a
Snow
one-liner
job
where he takes
signing
off
off.
his ski and pelts a Cobra guy in the face, and then that's it. And then he
That's
packs
the
up his
best.
skis
and knowing half the
takes off his
battle.
goddamn ski boots.
What if he
because he can't walk like a robot?
What if he pulled off his mask? It was John Cena.
That would be terrible. Did you see what was his action
The
vehicle?
Marine.
The Marine. I watched that.
Yeah, but think
Why
about
did you
Snow
watch
Job saying,
that?
"You can't see me." How
'Cause
awesome is
I
that?
love low budget '80s movies, and I thought this was going to be a throwback, and it was just bad. The guy
Yo,
has no.
so who's
the guy
more
has no
use-
chemistry.
Who's more useless? Snow Job or Quick Kick?
Quick Kick doesn't have to take off ski boots. Okay, I bet
Got
you.
ninja stars.
I bet you any man in here could take.
Are you just adding
If
ski
you
boots?
took Bruce Lee, resurrected him, put him in a pair of ski boots, and said, "Let's go," you would whoop Bruce Lee's ass because you can't.
No, not to mention he'd be a
Superman,
resurrected
Kryptonite.
corpse.
First off, Bruce Lee would
Bruce
be
Lee
on his
snow
hands and doing
boots.
like somersault kicks
With those heavy
with
boots
the heavy
on.
boots. Damage. Or he could do breakdancing fighting like DJ from Street Fighter.
No,
I'm just
no,
saying.
no.
I'm just
Ski
saying.
boots, no, not gonna happen. It never, it's not gonna happen.
Snow Job is not cool.
Yeah, no.
All right, fine. So G.I. Joe looks good. You're comfortable, but they're killing off everyone or getting rid of them for that movie. So basically, everyone we met from the first one's gone from the first movie.
Yep.
Except
The
for
other
Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Well, everyone likes ninjas.
And that's really the only two guys you actually need anyway.
Yeah, that's all you need. Like from what I've seen and read and whatever heard, it just looks like they decided to take the first movie and
Retcon it.
take the good stuff from it.
And the thing
Snake
is,
Eyes Storm Shadow, and start
Storm
over.
Shadow's not the good one. He is terrible.
They must have saw Fast Five, must have heard our podcast and heard about how great The Rock was, and they were like, "Yo, let's get The Rock for GI Joe 2." Are they even going to call it GI Joe 2, or are they just going to call it
It's just
GI
called
Joe Real
Retaliation.
American
G.I. Joe
Hero?
Retaliation.
Yeah.
Retaliation. All right.
It's-
so
it's-
And throw
so we're
Bruce
done
Wilson
with
for good
numbers
measure?
for sequels nowadays, right?
I believe so.
it's
Yes.
a little taboo, yeah.
I believe so. Yes. So they're done with that. It's just the
Like,
way
they didn't
it
even
is.
call Journey to the Center of the Earth. They didn't. They cut it to just Journey 2, didn't they?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They
they
didn't
didn't
get there the
call it
first
the
time?
Center of the Earth. Like
Journey to the Center.
So
This
it's-
is Adventure Island, isn't it? They went to the Jules Verne Island.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that where they went? Yeah, where everything big is small and everything small is big. Giant bees and little elephants. I think that's what the trailer showed me. So that's all I need to know about that one. And Luis Guzman in that movie. Yeah. For those who watch Community, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Andre,
Bingo.
what what are you looking forward
What
to
am I
see?
looking forward to see? That's a tough one. This summer, I am probably more so.
Dreamhouse 2?
I would love to make a dream house.
follow-up.
Yes, the fall. The
Extended
fall.
cut.
I'll call it Dream Condo.
What if he wore a tuxedo with a double like tie, and you figure out that this guy was actually 007 mentally wrong, and he thought he was 007 the entire time?
Oh,
and
no.
meanwhile, he's just in his house.
I got nothing against that, Stu, because apparently they're probably a better movie than the one I saw. Yeah, I'm probably gonna say I want to see Avengers, and I want to see Whedon do it right and do it justice. I think I'm more hyped now that I'm not watching anything that like no trailers or anything. I'm hoping they can pull it off. I really want this movie to
If Captain America is any indication, they can't.
That's Joe Johnson, the different director. That guy, he did October Skies, man. That was a good movie.
I don't know. I'm worried. I'm
And The
worried about this
Rocketeer.
movie.
And I think so. Yeah, it's. I don't know. For me, yeah, I would say right now, Avengers is just edging out Batman. But I will say that I recently rewatched the first Batman Begins, and I would have to say that is the best superhero movie
You ever
of
seen.
all of them. Yeah, I think it's a lot better than Dark Knight as a movie.
Barring Spider-Man 2, of course.
No, but no, for sure, it's better than Spider-Man 2. Dark Knight, yes. First of all, I like Spider-Man 1 better than
Justin just loves
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2
Spider-Man
was
2
just
was
a
good.
copy
Hey,
of Spider-Man 1.
that's like saying Aliens is
Doc
definitely
Ock
better
was
than
pretty
Alien.
awesome.
Aliens 2 was the best one.
Depends on what you rate the movie on, because for Alien 1, that was a true suspense horror. Aliens 2 is an action flick. It's hard to go back and rewatch Alien 1. You will shit
I
yourself.
have. It's
is-
good.
it-
Aliens 3 is horrendous, but Aliens 1 and 2 are fantastic. But Aliens 2 is still the better one.
It's kind of like Terminator 1 and 2. It all depends if you're willing
Okay,
for
Terminator
suspense.
1 is better than Terminator 2.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I thought Terminator 2 was amazing.
No,
It all depends
Terminator
if you
2
want
is good,
suspense
but
or
the
action, right?
Yeah, but
'Cause,
the
like,
I guess
thing
story-wise.
is, story-wise, and just film and the vibe and the feel. Like in Terminator 1, you had no idea if Sarah Connor was going to win. You had no idea that Reese what he was going to. And then you see those images of the bleak future and stuff, and there was chemistry between those characters. And then unfortunately, we got that punk kid in Terminator 2 who again, hey man, blah blah blah, my scooter, you know,
You mean
like
Chekhov?
No, is he Chekhov or whatever?
No,
Anton
he's,
Yelchin.
he's talking
I'm
Terminator
talking about-
Salvation. He's
I'm-
talking Edward Furlong.
I thought
From
you meant Terminator
the
9.
supposed next dude with Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He was going to be the new heartthrob, the new it guy, and
Hey man, he was pretty good in
Didn't
the
That's-
Green
I think
Hornet.
that's-
He was
the-
really
the
good in
probably
the
the
Green
most
Hornet.
current message we've.
He was Green Hornet.
Shut up, Edward Furlong was in Green Hornet.
Yeah, he was a drug dealer. Remember, he's like, man, why I do this? And then he
That wasn't really funny.
and he gets shot.
Yeah. Okay. that was a bad movie, by the way. Green Hornet. Wow.
Didn't even see it.
But for okay, let's talk about the Avengers for a second. So the Avengers, I know you're looking forward to. Is there a character you wish they would have, an Avenger that you wish they would have thrown into this movie?
I wish they would have unthrown in the Black Widow.
Or cast it differently.
Or put
Scarlett
in, like,
Johansson with a
maybe
red
the
head.
Wasp.
Yeah, like you know what?
Where the hell's Hank Pym?
Yeah, to be honest with you, if they were gonna for the Avengers that they have given us, you know, it's kind of cool that they said, okay, we want to do a Thor movie and we want to do Captain America, so we establish them. You know, and I know that there's a lot of studios involved, but why didn't they just give us the new Avengers? Why didn't they just
Luke
take
Cage.
No, not Luke Cage. For the not that Luke Cage is bad.
Andre keep the black man down.
Sorry.
Luke Cage, no movie for you.
I'm talking about for the media. They could have given us Iron Man. They could have given us Thor. They could have given us Spider-Man, and they could have given us Wolverine and made that the Team Avengers. Because
Oh my, two separate
everybody,
companies.
I know they're separate companies, but again, Marvel could have flexed their muscles. Disney's got them and pulled them in. Because to me, that would have made more sense of pulling together those guys and saying, okay, yeah, we want to go and make an Ant-Man movie because Ant-Man's in the thing or whatever. Now, not that he's in this movie, but there was a lot of talk that they were going to do Ant-Man. And
I was
again,
excited.
why
They're still
putting?
doing
Yeah.
Okay,
Edgar Wright.
that's great. But
Joe
again,
Cornish.
why they got to
What
put in Hawkeye and they got to put in Black Widow? Again, they
Hawkeye's
don't belong.
awesome.
But
No,
that just
no.
mentioning Hawkeye
The worst.
brought something in that I have to talk about. One of my favorite book series, The Bourne Identity, and I love the movies because they're two different entities. And then they're rebooting that with Jeremy
Yeah.
Renner. Man, I wish he died in the Hurt Locker. I hate that ass, and I can't believe they would replace Matt Damon with him for The Bourne. And enough said, I will never see that movie, and I hate that.
Wow.
I thought the
Could
trailer
you
looked
please
kinda
tell
cool.
us that in a strong
Yeah, way to
voice?
sit on the fence there, Andre.
Way to mince words.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
That's
What if they put The Rock in the Bourne Identity?
Only if they put cocoa butter all over his arms as he used to run down the street as Chris Ho yells, "Yes!" in the background. That's I believe that's how Chris Ho I think watches a Rock movie once every minute,
Yeah, I've seen
once
it.
every day.
At some point, we're going to get Chris O in here, but it's John's brother, and he really loves The Rock. Like, everything The Rock does, he's just all about that.
I believe he yelled in the theater. Was that correct? Is there a
During
play-by-play?
Fast 5, when Vin Diesel offered his hand to help Rock up, he exploded and looked over to Justin, and Justin laughed his ass off.
Was exploded? Did he say something, or was he just like grinning on his
He
face?
was just like, yes, this movie's so awesome.
Yeah, his
That
head
movie
really
was
shot
That was
off.
a wicked moment. Come on,
Yeah.
Fast 5.
I wanna go
for-
watch that again.
For
Horrible
Oscar.
movie.
Oscars tonight, right? Should win the Oscar, right? Fast 5. It would win my Oscars.
Yeah, the only Oscars that matter.
Wow. The
Second only to Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
All right, we'll finish off quickly with TV shows, I guess, at this point. Anyone checking out anything on TV that they would recommend to the folks at home right now? Andre?
I don't watch a ton of TV, but the TV that I do watch,
Good
I
Wife?
hope, I'm not up to date on Good Wife.
Oh,
no,
I'm
but
on top of that now.
Are you watching
I'm
that?
on top of
How
that.
good is that?
I'm
My
on top of
bias
that.
too.
I'm
All
on top.
right.
I'm all over Good Wife.
Okay.
It's so good.
It's so good. Now Justin and John
you
who
all
like
over
it.
that Good
just
Wife.
like you did with The Unit. Andre's like, watch The Unit. It's all right. I started watching it. It like became my life. I was like, oh, that guy
The
was
unit
on,
was awesome.
That guy was on Street Sense. That guy's Canadian. And then I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I started watching The Good Wife, and I'm all over it. But yes, continue.
the Good Wife is great. But I got to say, like Fringe. Oh my God, how cool is Fringe? Name me a TV show that is almost going to get canceled, has the balls to be a TV show about a parallel have a parallel universe, and now in this season adds like a next universe that combines the two where the main character doesn't exist. Man, the writing in this show is tight. It's I don't know what direction it's going in, but I'm just loving it. The ride is awesome,
And they just had
it's
their
on
finale.
Friday nights,
Yeah, they're
and
mid-season.
so they are about. It's probably going to be kiboshed, but so far like it's really good, and I'm just loving it. And I gotta say, there's some great performances. Like they've definitely had their budget cut, so basically you have the one Earth and then you have the parallel Earth. So a lot of these actors are doing double duty. They're playing themselves, and then they're playing like the Star Trek mirror bad version of themselves.
Oh, just different, not
And
bad.
oh, some of them are bad, some of them are things. But yeah, you get some great performances of these characters, and then their others are very different than them. And I gotta say, I really like the acting chops on it. Like the assistant, her name's Astrid. There was an episode where her other comes over, and looks like she's I guess she's like a savant. She's a genius with numbers and stuff, but she's socially introverted. She doesn't show her emotions. And wow, this actress, she banged it out like I believed it. This is like a Rain Man moment. I was like, wow, this chick can act.
Yeah.
And it was cool because this is probably the first time where you see her for almost the whole episode. Usually she's, a little bit here and there, like maybe 10, 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes airtime. This was like the whole episode. And I gotta say, wow, kudos for that. And I think I like the other agent from the other side a lot better than brain fart. What's the main actress's name? Her in the
Olivia?
show? Olivia
Yeah.
Dunham. Yeah, Agent Dunham.
like faux
I
Olivia.
like I like the faux Olivia better. Like she's got the brown hair. She's smiling. You know what I mean? She's got
don't
a
got the powers.
swagger.
She don't got the powers.
Yeah, she got no powers, but I don't think she needs them. She's got a gun.
She seems adaptable. No, but for those at home, Fringe, can you synopsis quickly of Fringe for those at home who don't know?
Oh
what
man, I
Fringe-
don't know if I could do it really quickly, but Fringe, it's a world where a doctor named Peter Bishop tries to save his son from a disease. His son dies, so he goes to a parallel universe, captures that son, which is Peter Bishop, brings him over to our world, and basically creates havoc on the rifts between worlds. And as the story progresses, Peter Bishop is the only one who can, bring the two worlds together. So he goes into this
And that's-
machine.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
way
that's
too
it.
much
All right,
information.
too much. Anyways, the show is really good.
You know what I did like the most about it is that the cross promotion. We talked before about having Spider-Man find the background. If you can go on YouTube and look at the observers,
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
when they were
amazing.
at Fox events, like you'd see a guy bald head at like NASCAR, and they just pan and then all of a sudden stop at him, and you're like, "Oh, watch Fringe." I'm like, "What?" And then all of a sudden he's at the Super Bowl, and you see him, and then all of a sudden you see the Observer at the Super Bowl, the same actor at the Super Bowl, NFL games, NHL
pretty
games,
awesome.
Lucky dude, man.
all over Fox Sports events. You just see the guy, and he's just wearing a black suit, hat,
yeah.
and just staring with no face, just staring at stuff, and you're like, "This is outside of the box."
Sure, he's the same
marketing.
guy, or is he just?
It was the same guy. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Not just white dudes in suits.
Yeah, you could tell because he was the main observer. September, as you
Yeah.
find out later on, they just had their finale. But I'm all over that too. It's again, we lucked out to get this season, so the fact that we get it, I'm
Yeah.
ecstatic. I like Andre said. Unfortunately, we probably won't get a second, like the final season. And they had, like we talked before, a 5-season arc. They had specifically an idea we're going to do 5, bang out 5 seasons, and we're done. They look like they're just going to go 4, but you.
Again, that's still.
Yeah, if we get another
yeah.
season and it wraps up, even if we get another 6 episodes
Well,
from the
actually-
finale, I think it's going to be cool.
Actually, I was listening to Howard Stern the other day. He was at a party with J.J. Abrams. He was like, "I'm watching Fringe. It's really good." And he's like, "You're like the only one." But, but at the same time, he's like, "You better not end this poorly." He's like, "Yeah, we're working. Like we gotta get another season. We're kind of actually working towards
Yeah.
finishing something up, right?" So
The issue is apparently it's an expensive show, but on Friday it's still getting ratings. But fingers crossed.
yeah,
John, what are you watching right now? What do you recommend?
All right, everybody
Southland.
knows. Yes, I love cop shows. I was gonna say Southland, but I was gonna talk about 21 Jump Street, but I won't go through my DVD collection. But yes, Southland, show on TNT about cops in the LAPD. They have excellent advisors on the show that make it very real. Like if you ever wanted to know what it was like to be a cop, this is pretty
Watch
much
Cops?
the show. Yeah, well, I guess it's a little bit similar to Cops, where you will kind of follow them with the camera, but you know.
What you gonna do? Sorry.
I think that's still on the air.
It is
right?
still
No
on the air.
way.
It is.
I think are the seasons in triple digits yet?
it's cheap, man. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Fall Guys around. Just
Yeah,
really-
Fall Guys in the
Yeah,
South.
they- first
actually
reality
feature
show?
that in Southland. They actually have these guys tag along with some of the characters on the show, and they're like, "Oh, we got to do this. I don't feel like talking today." That kind of stuff. But the show's it's really great. They actually added some new characters to this season, which is a nice change because previously the show was on regular network TV, got cut, and then TNT picked it up and they chopped like almost half of the cast.
All the
Chopped
expensive
them
actors.
off. Yeah.
Oh, everyone who was making
chopped off
money.
a lot of the main characters. You know, some characters died, some character storylines wrapped up. But now they've added some new characters, and one of the characters they added was Lucy Liu.
I believe we had this exact same conversation.
Lucy Liu.
Yeah,
Wow.
Lucy Liu.
We had this conversation
and I actually
on this
dislike her.
podcast.
I dislike her.
Wait, you actively dislike Lucy Liu?
I don't know. If I met her in person, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, I hate your face," right? Yeah. But I haven't been a fan. Okay, like her. I guess a lot of people like her because her unique look and stuff like that. But I really haven't liked the part she's played. But playing a cop, she actually does it really, really well in the show, and she's kind of partnered up with with this cop who has had a back injury and has been kind of addicted to painkillers and all that kind of stuff. But he's cleaned up this season. So she was a cop she's a tiny little thing, if anyone's seen Lucy Liu, of course. And they actually reveal in the beginning of the season that, you know, she pulled over this giant dude and he basically just picked her up and threw her around, and it was on YouTube. She ended up being the joke because she's like a tiny little thing, right? So they get teamed up, and it's just kind of her not really trying to prove herself, but them trying to deal with people in the show, and
That
it's
sounds
cool.
really cool. Regina King playing one of the detectives, who's awesome. So you will see beat coppers as well as detectives interacting. But the show it's just great, and it's a shame that not that many people watch it. But it's a good show. And then I guess I'll let Justin talk about Justified, since it's got his name in it.
Well, yeah.
Name the show Johnified. Maybe I'll watch more.
And there was a TV show called Jonovision, all right? So
Wow.
with Jonathan Torrance,
Yeah.
but let's let that be. Southland, what season are they on now?
I think this is season. I want to say 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, it's
4.
fourth.
Yeah.
Tom
He-
Everett Scott, of course, was on that show as one of the characters before he left, I think, right?
Who's he from? I'm bad with names.
Tom Everett Scott.
Is he the guy from OC? Because
No, that's Ben McKenzie. Tom Everett Scott was the guy from American Werewolf in Paris, or
Oh, that one.
that guy.
you're talking a lot of movies I haven't seen.
He was the voice of Booster Gold in all the cartoon shows.
Booster Gold. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Booster Gold.
Yeah, Booster Gold. And he was on Dead Men on Campus with Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Not ringing any bells.
Wow. Okay, Tom Everett Scott for everyone. All right, continue. Done. So they're at season 4, and they still do the muting of the profanity. Is that still kind of?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's on TNT, and they gotta censor it. So it's kind of a shame that the writers don't think, okay, why do we need to put in all this swearing if we're just gonna bleep
But
it
it's
out?
real, right?
But yeah, you do
I don't mind.
on the DVDs. If you go get the DVDs,
They muted out.
it's unmuted.
Ah.
And I think they show a little bit more of the graphic parts, but they do a good job of not showing too much. Like some shows, you'll just get grossed out. Stuff like The Shield, they kind of went to like a pretty big extreme, and sometimes you
John
just
had a
don't.
big problem with season 3.
Sometimes there's stuff you don't want to see.
Hey, Friday Night Lights season 2. What ifs? It happens. People have to stumble. All right,
and it was great.
Neil.
Well, I'll keep it short just because I don't watch a lot of TV, but one show I've sort of been turned on to and have started enjoying is a show called The League, and it's basically about these 6 guys who are in a fantasy football league. And
FX show, right?
FX
Chivas
show.
Cup.
Yes.
Really good.
And it's hilarious. I'm in a fantasy football league. I have been for about 10 years, and it's exactly how it is. The sort of the absurdity, the insanity.
So you had a draft that automated when a porn shoot was to take place.
Well, that's not exactly true to life per se, but
that's
just the characters in
Okay.
it and how riled up people get and how it takes over your life and all those sort of things and how friends can become enemies and how you want to stick it to that one guy who boasts a little too much. It's just spot on. It's very funny. It's very natural. You sort of believe that these people are kind of buddies and are kind of joking with each other and
Oh, but-
ad-libbing as they go.
But Nick Kroll, he's the best.
Yeah, well, they're all very solid. But that's sort of one show that I was turned on to and have really enjoyed. And another show that I watch, off and on that I really enjoy too is Modern Family. That's just a hilarious show. One of the best sort of comedies going right now as far as sitcom comedies.
Yeah, I'd say probably the only true comedy out there.
Pretty much.
Whoa,
Like,
Community.
it's-
What you talking about?
Oh,
well, okay, yeah, no,
Sorry, let me
there's
fix
a
that.
handful. There's
Only
a
a true
handful.
situation comedy.
But it's really
Community ain't situation.
firing on all cylinders. So that's another show. So those are pretty much the 2 shows I'm into right now.
And out of all the characters in the league, do you feel that right now in the
Taco.
storyline? Yeah, of course, Taco, and he's Canadian. But speaking, they're at a point now where it seems to be very redundant, the story. Because I've watched 3 seasons they're
Yeah,
at right now?
the characters have sort of been, sort of defined. They're 3-dimensional now. There's not too much more you can add
There's
to
not
it.
anything else
the
you can drop.
dynamics have sort of been played out with the husband, wife, and the brother and the
the
people.
hot wife from My Name Is Earl.
But
yeah.
I still think there's, just the nature of fantasy football and how crazy it is and how big it is. I'm sure there's still fodder for future seasons. But yeah, they maybe will have to add in
Another character
or 2 into the league. Maybe subtract somebody. Maybe 2 teams become one, and 2 of the guys have to coach the same team or something.
Because
Just a
how often
different
can you
dynamic.
bring in a mysterious guy in our league that never shows up?
Yeah, exactly.
So every single time it's like, this guy just in the league, he just never shows up. I'm like, wait a second, how is this possible? Where's this guy? But yeah, no,
so
I agree. It's a good
they're
show.
definitely. I wouldn't see this show running 8 seasons, but a couple more seasons. But for what it is, it's
Yeah.
very good.
Nice. Justin?
Okay, so we mentioned earlier, I'm really loving the show Justified.
Justin Elliotified.
Because, okay, the reason I like Justified so much is I'm a huge Elmore Leonard fan.
It's
and-
totally your show. The guy is a fucking cowboy, and it's like almost the Wild West. It's like if you could live your life as some kind of marshal or something, this is the guy you would want to be. It's
Yeah.
your show. It's like they created like the only
It's true.
the only thing stopping it short of being the Justin show is the main guy's not black.
Hey, they just brought in Bubba Gump. So
Oh
it's-
shoot, I love that guy.
he's awesome.
Yeah,
he
he's
plays
pretty
like this
sweet.
butcher, and he's just like drug dealing inside. He's like, just always when he's talking to people, just sharpening blades. He's like, He's like, all he's doing is making
Yeah,
ribs.
it's so
He's like,
good.
I'm just making some ribs, and everyone's like, oh, that's awesome. And he was like, so you want to mess things up, eh? And he's like, oh, whoa, what, why?
What makes the show so awesome is like Elmore Leonard. His writing style is known for just being like really cool, really smart, and this show just oozes like everything that makes like anything he ever does like amazing. It has that. So one of the things they did this season is one of his other characters, Karen Sisko. She showed up, but
Karen Goodman.
Yeah, but ABC owns the rights to the name Karen Sisko, so like they actually brought in Carla Gugino as that character, but changed her name of it. But it was whole thing's amazing. They're on season 3. If you're if you're not watching it, you're wasting time.
We had a
Is
discussion.
this another
Yeah, I
FX
really
show?
want to start watching
It's an
this
FX
show.
show.
It's
It's
another FX
it's,
show.
It's only one step behind Breaking Bad and Mad Men. Like if there's a criteria of like the shows you have to watch, and they're
Yeah,
not
it's
many,
there.
it's like Mad Men's number 1, Breaking Bad is like tied with them, and then just one
Coming down
step
on-
behind, just one teeny
The
step
Good
behind.
Wife.
It's sort of like making the,
The Good
late
Wife
charge.
is there, but no, Justified is just there. The Good Wife, unfortunately, I love that show, but I think it's going to be canceled this year because although it's critically acclaimed, it's not doing well when it comes to actual viewership.
I think
So-
it's just the name, unfortunately. For me, a show
Yep,
called
yep,
The Good Wife,
yep,
I'm
John,
just not even
yep.
looking at it.
Yeah.
Like it would take
The
somebody.
Good Lawyer Wife would be fine, but the
Lawyers.
it's two Ridleys. You can't two Scotts.
Yeah.
Like Ridley and Tony Scott. Like I'm watching, I'm like, oh goodness
Yeah, it's
gracious,
really-
how did I miss this? Until Andre reminded
I
me.
share
that
it
you
now.
should
Beat you over the head with
watch The
it.
Good Wife, but Justified. Wow,
It's up there.
Yeah, it's one of those shows.
And the other show that I'm watching is it's this animated thing by Dino Stamatopoulos.
Oh, wait for it, folks.
You may know who. Fuck you. You may know him more as Starburns from Community. It's a show called Frankenhole, which is and it's so awesome because what it is.
John can't breathe. I have to cut off his mic.
But yeah, what it is it's Dr. Frankenstein. He's immortal, and like it's just the wildest things happen. Like LBJ shows up wanting to have his brain put into Kennedy's body, and it's just like random kind of, not I would say random, but like a lot of like a historical kind of fiction, kind of tossed into this weird wacky situation. It's really fun.
How do you even find this
Theater
show?
of the absurd,
Yeah.
perhaps.
How do you- I'm just listen. I'm on the frontier. I'm always looking,
My mic's off because I'm
bottom
dying.
edges of the
I'm looking
galaxy.
forward. I'm looking forward. So yeah, so Frankenhole, like it's something to check out, and yeah, like I enjoy it, and because John threw me off with all his laughing.
Can't even breathe. Can't even breathe. We're almost done our podcast. I'm gonna give a few minutes to Andre because I know he's jonesing and he's looking at his Commander Shepard shirt to spew off a few last ramblings about Mass Effect before we finish this evening. For those of you not aware, Mass Effect is some sort of video game that was produced for Microsoft originally, and now it's everywhere and for all major systems. But it follows.
Who doesn't know about Mass Effect and BioWare, the great programmers from
BioWare, like,
Canada?
this is a crazy. This is an awesome company. I wish
Yeah.
they would make my favorite games.
So you follow basically Shepard. The way it works is that he is a regular dude in the army that's selected to be part of this special program to basically be one of those secret assassins of the universe to have basic passes. Like think of an all-access pass to anywhere in the universe. That's what he's given by the end of the first game. So now we're at 3, which is taking
the
back.
final one, Take Earth Back. Yeah, I got to say a couple of things because when Mass Effect 3 got announced, they said that they're putting multiplayer in this game, and I was like, oh my god, get multiplayer out of my favorite first-person, third-person me in the game,
RPG game,
RPG. Don't want it. And I was hating on this like hard. I'm like, damn you, BioWare. You guys suck. Why are you doing this? Okay,
I quote. He said, "I'm done with this game."
Yes,
turned to John.
I'm done.
Fire in his eyes.
I'm
out.
I can't believe it. So the demo comes out last week on Xbox Live, and I download the demo, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna touch this multiplayer. You know, my good friend Tim goes, Andre, you got to try the multiplayer. It's really good. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Tim Ting.
Tim Clark.
Oh, Tim Clark.
So anyways, I put this multiplayer in, and me and John Ho and Chris Ho, we start playing this game, and oh my god, I could not stop saying they did it. The Mass Effect multiplayer is awesome. I cannot believe it. I'm eating my words. This game is the shit. It is better than Gears of War multiplayer.
Whoa.
And yes,
That's
no,
big. That's big.
it's big. Like this was awesome. It's what I want in multiplayer. And by multiplayer for me, it's co-op. I'm getting on with 4 friends. We're sharing an objective. We're working as a team. Controls great. Graphics are good. You can level up your character. Just everything. This I'm gonna spend hours just playing this game. Not that I wouldn't have finished the story 7 Ways from Sunday and stuff like that, but the multiplayer. I'm eating my words and I'm saying it publicly. So kudos to you guys at BioWare. You've done it. I'm looking forward to a perfect 10.
Is this going to be the best game of the 3? Do you think?
It's shaping up to be. I've replayed 1 and 2 in preparation for going into 3, and I gotta say I still love the first one because it's your first interaction with
Absolutely.
that world and stuff. This third one, they're firing on all cylinders right now. Just from that little bit of the demo, I can't believe the graphics they're squeezing out of the 360. I'm like, you know what, Microsoft, and forget a next gen platform. If this is, give me 10 more games that look like this. I don't think we need better graphics than we're getting now.
Just the multiplayer
What about this-
is so good. Though.
What about the story too? Because I know that's sort of been the huge.
the story. Mass Effect's got one of the best stories in all video games. It's a game that when you start playing number 1, all the choices you make carry over to number 2, and you see the ramifications, and of course it's going to carry over to number 3. So it's not just a alien invasion story. There's lots of character, there's lots of depth, and BioWare's really made a huge universe. They've basically crafted a believable galaxy. The story is, I think it's going to be a lot darker. It's basically the Reaper invasion. They've taken Earth, so you've got to build a task force.
It's not a happy time.
It's not a happy time, and there's going to be lots of death and destruction, and hopefully your Commander Shepard can pull it out. But it's I'm super stoked for this game, and like I said, I'm going to take a good at least week off. So I apologize in advance to Neil, Justin, and John here, but you're not seeing me after March the 6th.
But it's pretty good. I've never played a Mass Effect game ever. So Andre was playing, my brother's playing, so I decided to pop the demo in, and I'm playing this multiplayer. And I was a big Gears fan. I got Gears 3, and it's probably only been popped into my system maybe less than 5 times.
So you're disappointed
because it was the same thing. Like whether you're Marcus Phoenix, whether you're Coltrane, whether you're Bard, you're the same freaking dude. Whether or not,
There's no change.
You
You
don't.
just look
You do
different.
the same role. You pick up the same guns. Like if we were to play and say, okay, Andre, you're gonna pick up the shotgun. You be the shotgun guy. I'm gonna be the sniper guy. We just pick up those weapons. We're the same dudes. Whereas Mass Effect, you actually can customize and work together as a team. You could have certain characters that complement other characters. Like in Gears of War, my Bard isn't gonna complement your Coltrane. You know what I mean? Like,
Although Coltrane is pretty awesome.
Coltrane's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, no, but it in Mass Effect you really see it. Like one example is there's a guy, I think he's called the Centurion class, and he's got a big shield, and he's walking up to you with a big shield, and if you've got your regular guns, you can't shoot past his armor. So I'm the soldier class. I don't have anything to take this guy out. John could be the adept class who has a spell called lift, or an ability, not a spell, and he'll shoot lift, lifting the guy up in the air, no longer the shield, and then Neil could be like, okay, I'm going to shoot this guy in the face with a shotgun. Boom, now dropped. So if we had complementing classes, like if I took soldier, Neil took the sentinel, and John took the adept, there's 3 different classes, there's almost nothing we can't do. If we all ran with 3 soldiers and that guy comes up with the shield, we're wasting a lot of ammo while his buddies are coming around flanking us and stuff, and it's got objective base. Like I've spent, I don't know, probably 5-6 hours on this multiplayer demo, and they've only given us 2 levels. Like, I could imagine what other game styles are going to come out for it, and yeah, it's just and it's got a really cool system where certain parts of the missions have you get money, and then your money you can buy what they call packs. So anybody in the who likes card games, you buy these booster packs. One's called a recruit pack, one's called a veteran pack, and it gives you usable items to augment your character. So again, a lot of replayability there, because you go, I need to get money to buy this, and let's see what I'm going to get. And there's that little random element.
Trial and error
So-
too. It's
yeah,
like
trial
kind
and
of playing with
error.
different
Yeah.
things. And,
So yeah, it's phenomenal. I think anybody who has never played Mass Effect can go out and play Mass Effect 3. They've got different modes of play. Like, you can just play like an arcade style where they'll do all the story stuff and they build the character for you, or you can be like me and play it the way it's meant to be played. And I pick the characters, I level them up, and I choose the
What a
story
smart
outcomes. And then you've got the multiplayer, so you could just be like John and buy it and play it for the multiplayer because everybody else is, playing it.
By the way, we'll be accepting any type of gifts or merch. You can send to the Heroes World store.
Yeah.
Send that to Stuart or any of the other guys.
Heroes.
Yeah, Neil, John, Andre, Justin. Just send stuff, BioWare. Just
love
everything you can, and we'll make a good home of it here. Maybe a plaque, something we'll hang on the wall.
Yep.
Send your stuff here, and that's good. So,
Yeah, so everybody go get Mass Effect 3.
yeah.
Andre seal of approval.
And sponsor us in some way, in some form. Just give us maybe T-shirts. We'll be fine with Commander Shepard gear. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this podcast at the Heroes World Studios. Again, if you're in the York Region area, of course, that's in Ontario, Canada. Come swing by the store. You can discuss and talk with any of our panelists today and podcasters, and you can debate them and talk about how good the Dreamhouse was and
And you
whatnot.
can talk about how much Frankenhold traumatized you.
So yeah, you always come by. It's you can check out the different things around. But Justin has gone. That's why you
He
noticed.
bolted after dropping that Frankenhold bomb. Oh man! Oh man!
It's only 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, I think he's wanted to check it out. So, anyways, I'm gonna send it off. Everyone for signing off. And if they want to do plugs, it's their chance as well. But Neil,
Take it easy, guys. I got no plugs, so see you next time.
John.
All right, I'm gonna say you should definitely follow Neil on Twitter.
And Justin also sucks. Justin Elliott sucks. Hashtag.
Peace out, folks.
And I will end with, I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Thanks, guys, for listening, and we will see you all next week. Thanks.